A$AP Rocky's ongoing legal battle has captured global attention, blending music industry drama, personal betrayal, and the looming risk of a decades-long prison sentence. On one side stands his former friend and A$AP mob member, A$AP Relli, who claims Rocky opened fire during a heated confrontation. On the other side is Rocky himself, real name Rakim Mayers, insisting the story is twisted and that he never used a real gun. Critics question every twist in the case, from shaky evidence to startling courtroom moments, while supporters argue Rocky's being unfairly targeted. Adding to the tension is Rihanna, the superstar partner whose presence raises the stakes even higher. Could this actually send Rocky away for years, jeopardizing his career, family life, and thriving brand deals? Or will the truth emerge, proving this was all a misunderstanding inflated by jealousy and flawed investigation methods? Let's go back to where it all started, untangling rumors, controversies, and legal strategies that show why this trial is such a captivating blend of loyalty, fame, and possible betrayal. Before the drama, there was the music. The A$AP Mob, formed in 2006, was a network of rappers, producers, designers, and directors from Harlem. Each member appended A$AP before their name. Rocky, Ferg, 12V, and notably Relli, also known as REI. Rocky rose to prominence faster than the rest, thanks to his breakthrough mixtape Live.Love.ASAP in 2011. His fashion-forward image and knack for collaboration propelled him into the mainstream, making him the face of the collective. While success shone a spotlight on Rocky, many members still viewed themselves as a tight-knit family, one in which loyalty was paramount. Once Rocky became a star, assumptions arose that if one person thrived, everyone would benefit. As money and fame grew, hidden tensions sometimes followed, with unspoken expectations that Rocky would use his resources to support fellow members. Those expectations became central to the dispute between Rocky and Relli. Rumors claim their fallout sparked from funeral costs for a deceased A$AP associate. Relli believed Rocky should have covered most, if not all, of the expenses. Whether that was truly Rocky's responsibility remains debatable. Yet in close-knit groups, loyalty often blurs with entitlement. What began as a financial spat soon devolved into something far more serious and potentially criminal. By 2021, friction with Relli reached a boiling point. Accounts differ on the exact details, but both sides agree there was a confrontation near Hollywood's tourist district. Angry words were exchanged, and the situation got physical. In Relli's telling, Rocky brandished a 9mm pistol and fired, grazing Relli's hand. Rocky's camp disputes this, insisting no real firearm was involved, and if anything was produced, it was a starter pistol meant to scare Relli off. The real turning point came days later, when Relli went to the police, an act many fans labeled snitching. In rap culture, taking disputes to law enforcement can trigger harsh backlash, but Relli insisted he was just seeking justice for what he believed was an unprovoked attack. Police initially found no physical evidence of a shooting, such as shell casings. However, Relli allegedly returned to the scene later and miraculously discovered casings that investigators had missed. That alone fueled skepticism. Was Relli genuinely a victim bringing forward missed evidence? Or was this a bizarre setup designed to implicate Rocky? The conflicting narratives made this case a spectacle. Grainy surveillance footage existed but showed only partial angles of the altercation. Nothing definitively proved gunshots were fired. That left prosecutors relying heavily on Relli's testimony, supplemented by a surprise ballistics report they claimed tied Rocky to the shooting. Rocky's lawyers shot back that this ballistics report was dropped on them at the last second, an underhanded tactic to force a plea or catch the defense unprepared. The crux of Rocky's argument is straightforward. If no real gun is found and no credible physical evidence exists, how can he be charged with assault using a semi-automatic firearm? The prosecution counters that Relli's testimony aligns with other witness accounts, plus the alleged ballistic analysis. Fans quickly compared Rocky's predicament to the Tory Lanez case, where Lanez was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion and received a 10-year sentence. Some parallels exist. Two hip-hop figures clashing over a gun-related incident, a swirl of social media opinions, and contradictory stories. Yet differences are significant. Tory's alleged victim was a high-profile female artist with strong public support, whereas Relli is relatively unknown, garnering less sympathy. As Rocky's trial began, onlookers were shocked to learn the 12-person jury included no black members, even though both defendant and alleged victim are Black. Public figures like Reverend Al Sharpton voiced concern, questioning whether Rocky could get a fair hearing. The judge, meanwhile, insisted that the process adhered to legal standards. From day one, the judge made headlines by openly flirting with Rocky's mother, calling her gorgeous. While some shrugged it off as harmless courtroom banter, others worried it could overshadow proceedings or hint at partiality. The judge quickly assured everyone that Rocky's celebrity status wouldn't affect the outcome. The prosecution wasted no time unveiling its bombshell, that ballistic report suggesting Rocky fired a 9mm. Rocky's team fired back, calling the evidence flawed and incomplete. They insisted their star had purchased a starter pistol to protect himself after prior assaults and stalkers, not to actually harm anyone. The judge granted Rocky's side a short window to examine the ballistics, but made it clear the trial would not be stalled indefinitely. Meanwhile, social media erupted with debates. Are these sudden revelations part of a prosecution gotcha strategy or the natural course of law? Could Relli's story unravel under cross-examination, given the delayed police reporting and unexplained shell casing discovery? Comment threads and fan discussions quickly split along lines of those who trust Rocky's version and those who believe Relli wouldn't go to this length without reason. Considering Rocky faces up to 24 years if convicted, prosecutors offered what many considered a sweetheart deal, pleading guilty to a single felony count, 6 months of jail, potentially suspended, years of probation, anger management classes, and community service. In exchange, Rocky would admit to wrongdoing. To outsiders, it seemed like a lifeline, but Rocky shockingly declined. He claimed it was unthinkable to plead guilty if he believed he was innocent, and it could destroy his career by sticking a felony record to his name. Major brands like Gucci or Puma might drop him, and traveling overseas for tours could become complicated. That's on top of the stigma of being a convicted felon for firearm assault. Some observers called him reckless, suggesting that a suspended sentence beats risking decades. Others admired his resolve, saying no one should plead to a crime they didn't commit. An acquittal would keep his record clean, preserve business partnerships, and vindicate him in the public eye. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward gamble. Much like the Tory Lanez saga, heated factions have formed online. In Lanez's case, people argued over Megan Thee Stallion's credibility, the chain of events, and potential behind-the-scenes manipulation. Ultimately, Lanez was found guilty, despite initial assumptions that the case might collapse under contradictory testimonies. Rocky's situation is both similar and different. The alleged victim isn't a famous musician commanding widespread sympathy, so the court of public opinion feels less lopsided. At the same time, no matter how well-liked Rocky is, brandishing or discharging a gun in any capacity can carry severe legal and social repercussions. If the prosecution's ballistics evidence stands up in court, Rocky could lose big, just as Lanez did. On the flip side, if the jury sees Relli's story as riddled with holes, or if the defense successfully discredits the new evidence, Rocky could walk free or receive a lesser charge. The Lanez precedent shows that unpredictability in these celebrity trials is common. Public perception can shift dramatically depending on a single witness statement or a hidden piece of evidence that finally comes to light. A key difference that sets Rocky's story apart is Rihanna, his partner and the mother of his children. Her global fame dwarfs even Rocky's, and her presence adds another layer of scrutiny. In 2022, when police arrested Rocky at an airport, Rihanna was heavily pregnant, sparking concerns about how stress could affect her pregnancy. Thankfully, she delivered without complications, but the emotional toll has lingered. Sources close to the couple say the trial's constant uncertainty triggers episodes of anxiety for Rihanna. She's balancing her career, motherhood, and the fear of what might happen if Rocky is convicted. A 24-year sentence, or anything close to that, would leave her parenting 2 young children largely on her own. Although she's made no explicit public statements, she's reportedly providing moral support while remaining mindful not to overshadow the trial with her star power. The scenario underscores how a single event, whether fueled by misunderstandings, true malice, or both, can alter lives. Rocky's brand stands on a precarious ledge, and Rihanna's brand could face spillover effects if the narrative paints Rocky in a harsher light. It's a personal, professional, and deeply emotional balancing act. From funeral expense disputes to allegations of gunfire on a Hollywood street, the conflict between A$AP Rocky and A$AP Relli has spiraled into a high-stakes trial. The evidence is murky, the witness testimony is inconsistent, and each new revelation raises fresh questions about loyalty, friendship, and justice in the often volatile music industry. Fans and pundits alike argue over what really happened that night. Did Rocky truly open fire? Or is he being framed by someone with a personal grudge and a hunger for cash? The court's handling of evidence, the race of the jurors, and the unexpected ballistics report have all fueled suspicion that this is no straightforward legal case. Adding to the tension is Rihanna's quiet but unmistakable presence, reminding everyone that these aren't just rap feuds, but real lives with real consequences. Ultimately, the question of Rocky's guilt or innocence hinges on whether the prosecution can prove beyond doubt that a real gun was involved. The judge has shown no hesitation in pushing the trial forward, even amid last-minute evidence. Rocky's refusal of a plea deal demonstrates his confidence or his desperation to clear his name completely. Whatever the final verdict, this saga has already shown how thin the line can be between success and catastrophe in the entertainment world. The trial serves as a reflection of the pressure, pride, and sometimes impossible expectations that shadow those who reach fame. Whether Rocky emerges unscathed or finds himself in a predicament similar to Tory Lanez, one truth remains. Once personal disputes explode under public and legal scrutiny, no one escapes unchanged. It's a cautionary tale about how fast friendships can deteriorate, how the pursuit of fortune can magnify every conflict, and how the rap world and its audience thrives on the kind of drama that keeps everyone guessing until the final verdict drops.